In a bold move that could redefine local governance in Massachusetts, Governor Maura Healey recently unveiled her proposed fiscal year 2026 budget, which includes a contentious push for the reintroduction of the Municipal Empowerment Act. This legislation aims to provide municipalities with greater latitude to raise local taxes, a strategy that raises both eyebrows and concerns among taxpayers already grappling with the financial implications of escalating costs. Despite Healey's previous commitments to enhancing affordability and competitiveness within the Bay State, the implications of this new tax flexibility could lead to increased financial burdens on local residents. The governor's office has confirmed the refiling of the Municipal Empowerment Act, asserting that it will equip local governments with the necessary tools to deliver high-quality services to their communities. Having other ways to raise revenues certainly provides a little bit of flexibility for communities, noted Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, highlighting the importance of funding for essential services such as education and public safety. This renewed effort comes on the heels of last year's legislative attempt, which failed to gain traction in the majority Democrat state legislature. The original version of the Municipal Empowerment Act projected a potential revenue increase of up to $150 million by allowing local governments to impose taxes on restaurant meals, hotel stays, and vehicle registrations. The administration's commitment to revising and reintroducing the bill indicates a recognition of the need for enhanced local revenue streams, a sentiment echoed by municipal leaders who argue that such flexibility is vital for improving local governance. However, the proposal has drawn criticism, particularly from the Massachusetts Republican Party. GOP chairperson Amy Carnevale characterized the reintroduction of the Municipal Empowerment Act as a political maneuver that shifts the financial burden onto families rather than addressing the root issues of state funding. This is a political maneuver that avoids accountability while forcing families to pay more, she stated, capturing the essence of the opposing view that sees the initiative as a retreat from state accountability to local taxpayers. As Healey navigates these complex fiscal waters, she remains undeterred by the potential challenges from the incoming Republican administration at the federal level. The governor expressed confidence in Massachusetts' ability to secure federal funding, citing the state's recent successes in landing federal assistance. "We're full steam ahead," Healey affirmed, underscoring her administration's focus on maximizing state resources despite potential shifts in federal priorities. In a broader context, the political landscape is shifting as national politics increasingly influence local governance. U.S. Representative Stephen Lynch's recent appointment to a congressional subcommittee related to the newly established Department of Government Efficiency underscores the intertwining of local and federal political currents. Lynch's commitment to defending federal workers and advocating for effective governance reflects a growing recognition of the need for collaboration across party lines, even as tensions remain high. The challenges facing Healey's administration are indicative of a larger trend where local governments must adapt to shifting economic realities while simultaneously addressing community needs. As Massachusetts grapples with these dilemmas, the reintroduction of the Municipal Empowerment Act serves as a litmus test for the state's political climate, a microcosm of the tension between fiscal responsibility and the pursuit of enhanced local governance. Looking ahead, the implications of this legislation will unfold as it undergoes scrutiny within the state legislature. The future of local taxation in Massachusetts remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Governor Healey's ambitious proposals will continue to stir debate as stakeholders weigh the balance between necessary revenue generation and the financial welfare of residents. As communities and local leaders respond to these developments, Massachusetts will be watching closely, with many hoping for a resolution that respects both fiscal needs and the burden on its taxpayers. In a political landscape transformed by the re-election of Donald Trump, the dynamics within the Republican Party reveal a complex interplay of loyalty, power, and strategy. As Trump embarks on his second term, his approach to governance underscores a significant commitment to party cohesion, a departure from the chaos that characterized his first administration. This shift is not merely a product of time but reflects a deeper understanding of the mechanisms of political power in the United States. During the tense leadership vote for the 119th Congress, Trump's influence was palpable. Speaker Mike Johnson, facing dissent from the Freedom Caucus, received a direct call from Trump, who interrupted his golf game to assert that Johnson was the ideal candidate for the role. This moment exemplifies Trump's continued mastery of political maneuvering, illustrating how he has harnessed the Republican Party rather than dismantled it. Julian E. Zelizer, a historian and political commentator, emphasizes that Trump has always recognized the importance of party loyalty in American politics. His ability to align with Republican lawmakers has allowed him to push through significant policy initiatives, despite the narrow margins he often faces in Congress. Trump's strategy hinges on a centralized approach to governance akin to the tactics employed during his first term. By leveraging procedural mechanisms like budget reconciliation, designed to circumvent filibusters, he aims to pass expansive legislation in a single sweep. This method, while ambitious, carries risks, particularly given the divided nature of Congress. The ongoing challenges he faces, including a diminished Republican majority in the House, could lead to fractures within his party if his strategies result in sustained electoral losses. The early days of Trump's new administration have already set the stage for a whirlwind of executive actions aimed at reshaping the political landscape. From halting refugee admissions to redefining federal diversity initiatives, Trump's agenda is aggressive and polarizing. Republican lawmakers, many of whom have fully embraced his leadership style, find themselves navigating a rapidly changing environment where party loyalty is paramount. As Senator Shelley Moore Capito noted, the atmosphere is markedly different from Trump's first term, characterized by a sense of acceptance and collaboration among Republican leadership. However, the political calculus for Trump remains precarious. His penchant for endorsing candidates who align with his vision has sometimes backfired, resulting in electoral setbacks for the party. Historical precedents suggest that if his policies lead to widespread discontent, especially among the electorate, Republican lawmakers may quickly turn against him. The potential for economic turmoil exacerbated by aggressive tariffs or failures in crisis management looms large as a threat to his standing within the party. Amidst this turbulence, the Democratic Party finds itself in a unique position to strategize its response. Learning from Trump's example, Democrats are encouraged to embrace partisanship and utilize their congressional power to counteract Republican initiatives. While it is essential for them to maintain the integrity of democratic processes, leveraging legislative tools effectively could help them regain influence in future elections. The focus should be on presenting a cohesive alternative to the Republican agenda, emphasizing policies that resonate with struggling Americans. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the implications of Trump's re-election extend beyond mere party dynamics. The interplay of loyalty strategy and electoral outcomes will shape the direction of both the Republican and Democratic parties in the coming years. With an eye on the 2026 elections, the actions taken now will undoubtedly reverberate throughout the political sphere, determining not only the fate of individual lawmakers but also the broader ideological battles that define American governance. The next chapter in this political saga promises to be as compelling as it is unpredictable, with both parties poised to navigate a terrain marked by heightened stakes and intensified rivalries. In a significant political development for Ohio, former Republican Party Chair Jane Timken has been appointed to fill an open seat in the state Senate representing the 29th District. This appointment comes on the heels of the passing of long-serving legislator Kirk Schuring, whose death in November left a void in representation for the Northeast Ohio District. Schuring, a respected figure across party lines, will be a tough act to follow, but Timken has expressed her commitment to carrying forward his legacy. Timken, who grew up in Cincinnati and currently resides in Canton, has a notable political background. As the current RNC committeewoman for Ohio and a former chair of the Ohio Republican Party, she has been an influential figure in state politics. I'm incredibly honored to represent Stark County in the 29th District and to follow in the footsteps and legacy of accomplishments left by my good friend Kirk Schuring, Timken stated in a press release from the Ohio Senate GOP. Her experience also includes a stint as a magistrate in the Stark County Court of Common Pleas and a run for the U.S. Senate in 2022, where she was endorsed by former Senator Rob Portman. Senate President Rob McCauley praised her appointment, saying Jane has big shoes to fill replacing the legendary Kirk Schuring. But I have no doubt that she will be a fantastic senator for the 29th District. Jane Timken is a proven conservative who brings a unique skill set of economic development, public policy, and politics to the Senate. I'm confident she will be an outstanding advocate for all Ohioans. Timken's educational qualifications include a degree from Harvard and a Juris Doctor from American University Washington College of Law, underscoring her preparedness for the challenges ahead. The appointment of Timken not only fills a critical legislative gap but also highlights the ongoing evolution of Ohio's political landscape. As she steps into her role, her focus will likely be on addressing the issues that resonate with her constituents, such as economic development and public policy reform. Given her background and the support she has garnered within the party, many are optimistic about her future contributions to the Ohio Senate. As Timken embarks on this new chapter, the implications of her appointment extend beyond local politics. It signals the potential for shifts in policy priorities within the state legislature and sets the stage for how Ohio Republicans may strategize heading into future elections. Timken's performance in the Senate will be closely watched, not only for its immediate impact on her district but also for its broader significance within the context of state and national politics. With her commitment to public service and a proven track record, she is poised to make a meaningful impact in Ohio's legislative efforts. As the political landscape in Washington shifts with the new Congress, the Republican Party finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with both opportunities and challenges under the Congressional Review Act (CRA). With the party now controlling both the House and the Senate, there is a renewed sense of urgency to dismantle regulations put in place by the Biden administration. This presents a significant opportunity for the Republicans, especially as they seek to consolidate their power and advance a bold legislative agenda. The CRA, a tool that allows Congress to disapprove of regulations issued by the executive branch, serves as a vital mechanism for the Republicans. The party's leadership, particularly Senator Mitch McConnell, has identified repealing Biden-era regulations as a primary objective. This strategy not only enables Republicans to showcase legislative productivity but also helps them sidestep the filibuster, allowing for a more streamlined legislative process. In the past, under a similar trifecta, Republicans successfully repealed 14 rules within the first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency, setting a precedent for the current Congress. However, the use of the CRA is not without its complexities. The provisions of the Act allow Congress to review rules issued in the waning days of a previous administration, potentially giving the current Congress the latitude to roll back numerous regulations. As the 119th Congress begins, a list of resolutions targeting Biden's regulatory actions is emerging, many of which focus on immigration, environmental protection, and labor rights. With the far-right faction of the party pressing for aggressive action, the stakes are high for Speaker Mike Johnson, who must navigate a divided caucus while satisfying the demands of both moderates and hardliners. Trump's influence looms large over these discussions as he has pushed for an expansive legislative package that includes tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy, increased support for fossil fuels, and stricter immigration policies. The proposed fiscal measures, however, are met with skepticism from some Republicans who are concerned about the implications for the nation's growing deficit, which is now nearing $2 trillion annually. The divide within the party reflects broader concerns about fiscal responsibility and the potential repercussions of extensive tax cuts without corresponding spending cuts. As the House prepares for a critical vote on the fiscal 2025 budget resolution, the urgency to reconcile these internal differences is palpable. Representatives like Michael Cloud from the House Freedom Caucus emphasized the need for a dramatic course correction to address the deficit while pursuing Trump's agenda. The challenge lies in finding sufficient spending cuts to offset the proposed tax reductions, a task that could strain party unity. Moreover, the CRA's potential to undermine important regulations could have far-reaching implications for American society. Regulations aimed at protecting public health, such as those improving the working conditions for Head Start teachers and those addressing black lung disease among coal miners, are now at risk. The repeal of these rules could not only harm vulnerable populations but also signal a broader retreat from regulatory safeguards that have been in place for decades. With Trump's endorsements carrying significant weight, particularly in Republican primaries, the dynamics of upcoming elections in key districts could further complicate matters. The special congressional primaries in Florida, where Trump has already thrown his support behind candidates, illustrate the powerful role of his influence in shaping the party's future direction. These elections, combined with the broader legislative agenda, will test the Republicans' ability to maintain unity amid internal discord. As the new Congress progresses, the implications of the CRA and the party's internal divisions will become increasingly clear. The balance of power within the Republican caucus will determine how effectively they can implement their agenda, and the outcomes of these legislative battles will resonate far beyond Washington, impacting the lives of everyday Americans. The coming weeks will be crucial as Republicans aim to navigate these turbulent waters with the potential for significant regulatory changes on the horizon. The success or failure of these efforts could redefine the party's trajectory in the years to come, setting the stage for future elections and policy debates. In a remarkable twist of legal maneuvering, the implementation of the Corporate Transparency Act (CTA) remains suspended despite a recent Supreme Court ruling that would have lifted a nationwide injunction. This ongoing saga, marked by conflicting legal interpretations and state-level challenges, continues to leave business owners in limbo regarding the submission of beneficial ownership information (BOI) to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network (FinCEN). On January 23, 2025, the Supreme Court granted the government's motion to lift a previous injunction that had delayed the filing requirements set to begin on January 1, 2025. This injunction had been issued by a federal judge in Texas and was designed to remain in place while the government sought an appeal to the Fifth Circuit Court. The ruling was anticipated to pave the way for the enforcement of the CTA, which mandates that millions of businesses disclose their beneficial owners to combat money laundering and other financial crimes. However, the situation remains convoluted. Legal experts from Varnum Law, including attorneys Seth Ashby and Neil Youngdahl, have pointed out that another injunction stemming from a separate case known as Smith v. Department of the Treasury remains in effect. This ruling effectively maintains the moratorium on filing requirements, leaving businesses with a confusing legal landscape. The Supreme Court's order impacts only the Texas Top Cop Shop order. The Smith Court stay of the BOI rule remains in effect, Ashby explained. This means that for now companies are not obligated to file BOI reports despite the High Court's ruling. FinCEN corroborated this assessment, stating on its website that businesses are not currently required to submit BOI reports due to the continued existence of the Smith injunction. The agency also clarified that businesses would not face liability if they fail to file while the injunction remains in place, though they are permitted to do so voluntarily. Legal observers are closely monitoring the situation, particularly in light of potential changes in the political landscape. The Biden administration's vigorous defense of the CTA could be altered with a shift in leadership, as recent comments from President Trump suggest a potential re-evaluation of regulatory burdens on private industry. The attorneys from Varnum highlighted that the future of the CTA may depend not only on the outcome of the ongoing legal challenges but also on the political dynamics surrounding regulatory enforcement. As the legal battles unfold, Ashby emphasized the importance for affected businesses to remain vigilant. Businesses and farmers impacted by the CTA should continue to closely monitor this fluid situation, he stated. The Varnum CTA task force remains active in tracking the developments of this case and other related challenges that question the constitutionality of the CTA. In conclusion, while the Supreme Court's ruling initially seemed to signal a new chapter for the Corporate Transparency Act, the concurrent injunction from the Smith case has ensured that the status quo remains. As businesses await clarification on their filing obligations, the legal and political landscapes continue to evolve, raising questions about the future of corporate transparency regulations in the United States.